guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be working primarily behind the chicken coop. First off, you might notice this fancy fence that's been constructed in the front of the flower bed. Benjamin put that up to keep people from walking on my flowers. And he said, as the flowers grow up, we can pull it out because then people will be able to see where the flowers are, which is the cutest thing. So we'll probably leave the fence up. So we're going to be working behind it. We've got some lamb's ear to cut back, a clematis, some dinner plate hibiscus. There's more lamb's ear over here. There is a Zephyrin Druin climbing rose that we need to trim. And then if we go this direction, you can see the planks from our pallet walkway that we installed years ago now. And that goes all the way under this arbor out to the other side. But since redeveloping this area, we made the flower bed to where it's a little bit more connected to the space just beyond it. And I don't think it makes sense to have two pathways. See how this one curves this way and there's a gravel pathway that leads out this direction? I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull up the planks. We're gonna save them because we'll probably do a walkway somewhere else. But we'll pull up the planks just until here. And what I thought we would do is move our little statue. I think it's called the basket boy. I've got a little pot that goes on top of him and we're going to plant it up. But I thought we would move it here so that it would create a little bit of a vista and give this arbor some sense. So from this side, the pathway will come through here and then it will stop and there'll be the little statue, the little basket boy, which I don't think is big enough for this area, but I just kind of want to see, like, feel it out. And then eventually this area will be planted to where you won't really see, you know, from this side all the way through to that side. So you kind of have to imagine a little bit of a green screen right behind the arbor. You'll also notice I have frost cloth by all of our pots because we are expecting some nights like 27, 28. So our freshly planted pots, I want them to stay nice. Anyway, we're just keeping our eye on that, and I've got cloth ready to roll if we need to use it. And really the last thing to kind of explain about this area is that we will have a boxwood hedge. It will go to about here. This is the opening, so it'll start on either side and take off and meet up with that boxwood hedge so that it'll look a lot like the other side. I think that will help create a little bit of distinction, but I think it'd be really sweet to have this just little vignette, this little vista in the garden because, you know, this area is going to be kind of separate because of the hedge that's going to be between them and then all the plantings as well. Also, Aaron wants to come trim a couple branches off this birch tree. So we might see him out here doing that. He's just worried, like, these are so low compared to the rest of the growth is way up here. He's worried that if we don't limit up now, that it would be more of a problem later. I don't know. Yeah, because if you look at it from this side, you've got a nice straight trunk with nothing coming off this side. And then you've got these kind of two very low, awkward branches on this side. Looks great from this angle right here. So that's really what I want to get done today. It's not a tremendous amount of work, but I need to take my time and really think about this space because in complete honesty, I haven't thought at all about what I want to plant in here. Nothing. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to plant here or here or here. So I got a lot of thinking to do, and usually that involves me needing to work in the space and be in the space and feel it. So I'm hoping that I come out of the project today with a little clarity as to what to do in this area. Sometimes it's just not worth it to rush into it. I feel like, you know, there have been some projects that we've rushed into a bit and we need to adjust later on. And I'd rather do things where we didn't have to do too much adjusting. So I'm going to gather up my tools and we'll get after the cleanup portion first, and then we'll work on our little planter. I'm excited about that.
Next to us. So just
You hear the chicken? I think that's just one. What are you doing? Are you upset? Are you upset about something? Do you want some mealworms? A snack always helps. All right, girls. Now, what is the deal in here, huh? I know the way to all your hearts. All right. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Look at that, Beverly. I throw them on the ground. She's like, nope, that's not how I want to eat them. Oh, I want to eat them straight from your hand. The view from in here is about to open up. All those things are coming down. All right, girls. Here you go. Okay, I thought we would just do a quick run through of how I'm cutting back the individual plants in here since there's not that many. Lambs here, I just get in here, and even though there's some leaves that look okay, I'm going to cut all of it back, kind of to the main crown of the plant. So that's basically what they'll look like when we're all done with those. And then with our dinner plate hibiscus here, these grow fresh from the ground, fresh from the roots every single year. So all of these stalks, they're all done. They're not going to regrow anything from those stalks. So what we do is we come in and just cut them back like that. I do leave them a few inches tall. You can see one of my cuts from last year. Just because they break dormancy so late in the season, it's handy to have little stalks still there to see so that you can remember that you have a plant there. Otherwise, it would be really easy if you cut them all the way flush with the ground. It'd be easy to think there was nothing there because, you know, here comes May and it still hasn't pushed any new growth, which is sometimes the case. So anyway, it's just handy to have some stalks there. Sorry, I get distracted when I'm talking because these boys, they come around and want all the attention. And then our clematis back here, this one is called Happy Jack. It's got the most beautiful purple blooms on it, and it blooms profusely every single year, and it's an easy one to take care of. So it blooms on new and old wood, so we're gonna cut it back to about 2 feet. So what I'll do is follow the stems up to about 2 feet, and then I'm gonna cut them right above a node. So right above where there's some new buds, you can see those 2 buds, hopefully right there, right above those. Perfect. Not all of them will be exactly the same length, but once we make all of our cuts, we can pull all of the refuse down. And then our Zephrine in here, I can't really get in here to show you close up, but you can see a ton of branches coming out away from the chicken run there, which is what I'm training it to. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of all the growth that's on the outside, and then I'll stop and kind of explain the rest. And I'm pretty sure that's it for perennial cleanup in this area. Yeah, so let's get that done. Oh my gosh, she scared me.
Can I help?
Yes, you can. Do you want to pull up some planks? Benjamin, you and I working away. Look at these cats over here napping. Are you gonna help? Yay!
She got it.
Good job, babe. Oh, good job. Let me tie your shoe real quick so we don't, whoop, boom.
And then you have to pull it out. Baby, you're doing it. Well, this project is coming right along. We're almost done. I'm at a point where I want to show you what I'm doing with this climbing rose, but the kids came out and they were super excited to help pull up those little planks, which I will never say no to help like that. But look at this area. Oh, I just love seeing it open and not full of the pathway. I mean, I loved that pallet walkway and it was wonderful for the time that it was there, but it's time for something new. You know, spaces and gardens evolve. This is where we're at. We've got a pile of leaves we still have to clean up, but we got that lamb's ear cleaned up and just a bunch of other random things. I did have to cut a bunch of suckers out from underneath this smoke bush. This is a Winecraft Black. And it's always kind of struggled in this area because it didn't get enough sun. And I think at this point, now that this area is so cleared out, it might do a lot better. But those suckers were coming out like 3 feet away from the base of that plant. And then I did move the basket boy over here, which is definitely not the right scale. I'm gonna go through our concrete to see if we've got a larger urn or something that could take the position of the basket boy, or it might just be this for a little while, but you get the idea. I just want to create this little sweeping vista that ends right here with something beautiful to look at. And imagine that green screen behind it, kind of sweeping behind, so it's blocking all the other beautiful things, but we want to create little rooms. So as you're walking by this later on, once we have our hedge of boxwoods, and then whatever we decide to put behind it, it'll make you kind of want to go through here and just come look and see what's in this space. I also need to tie that arbor over to the chicken run. Paul did manage to get that T-post that was right here out though, which looks a lot better. Okay, let's get in here. Like, this area is so congested, I think I'm gonna take these hibiscus out. That's really the only decision I've made so far today. They're just so huge for this space. I mean, I have a witch hazel in here I totally forgot was here because I couldn't see it. It's an Arnold's Promise, and the poor thing, it's trying its hardest to bloom back here, but it had the huge hibiscus, 3 of them, right around here. Or, you know, maybe I should move the witch hazel. That's 2 less holes. That might be easier. Got the clematis done. And then this rose. So there was just a tremendous amount of, like, a lot of green stems, which you can see this one right here. So that was a fresh one last year, and these are own root roses. So whether or not the growth is coming, you know, from where you can see it or from underneath the soil, it's going to be true to variety, which makes it nice. But a lot of the new growth just shoots straight up, and what we're going for is we're going for lateral branches. So you can see this new one right here, I trained over. This one right here though, I don't think I want to do that with, because there's another branch that we can train right here. And wherever there's a little spur, there'll be a bloom. Or on a lot of them anyway. But I'm going to take this one out. Yeah, we're just looking at decongesting this whole space. And then if you look up here, you can see that this one comes up and then branches 3 ways. And there's another one right next to it, which I think I want to let the other one go for it. And we'll take this one out. Yeah. And then you can see some other stems in here. I think that this one could come out right down here. And I think we want to pick one of these two. See how these are crisscrossing? I think I'm going to take this one out. I also want to take out anything like this. It's just a branch kind of cruising toward the back there, and it doesn't have any side branching. And then this is a nice strong stem right here, but you see all of this scrubby growth? What I like to do is come in and cut each one of them back down to the first bud. So we'll come over to this one and cut it right there. And anything that's cruising backward, I cut off. More flush with the plant. That one's dead. See, that's got some, it's just brown. And then our bud's gonna be right here. And so I leave a lot of stubs along the way, but those always produce blooms. So I end up with blooms from like base to tip. It's gorgeous when they're in bloom. This is a really good example right here. So you can see, follow this branch and cut this one off and this one, both dead. But I've left a little growth spurt here, here. Get rid of a few of these that are cruising backward. There, a couple there. This one's going back. Yeah, I just prune, being mindful that, like, if this branch were to cruise into the hardware cloth, it's just going to get all bound up and it won't be very productive. So I just get rid of all that stuff from the gate. And then I try to anticipate, you can kind of see the way that each branch is growing. So, you know, if they're going to grow together, like this right here, these are crisscrossing, I'm just going to get rid of one of them. Then if we come over here, I see this weird branch. Look at this. Whoop. That's coming off of a spur from last year. I think I'm just going to cut the whole thing out. I also try to make sure to remove as much of the leaf debris as I can. I always seem to miss some of it. Yeah, this is looking great. I've got wire cables right here that, if I can, I would like to, yeah, just train that back behind so it kind of holds it in. Otherwise, you'll see places where I use this like rubber coated wire to help hold things back. See right here, I have a piece holding this branch to that hardware, or to that wire. And then once I feel like it's done, that we've done as much pruning as we should on it, I'll go back through the bottom and I clean it up. Because sometimes it's really hard to get in here and cut all of the little stubs out when you're still working on it. So it's nice to clear everything out of the way and then come in and clear it up. The chickens are like, what the heck are you doing? Taking away our, well, their shield, really. Oh, that just looks so much better. It's going to be so much more productive now that it has been pruned and all the extra growth is gone. So let's do the last little bit here. We just have a little bit of leaf debris cleanup and then we'll be done, minus a possible swap of concrete under the arbor. I got to it before you got out here.
That's all right. It's not exactly like a big job, but I'm so proud of you for doing it.
Oh, I'm gonna see if my mom wants to use those branches down at the
Looks
store.
so much better.
Well, maybe.
I mean, you got to give it a second to kind of rebound.
Do you think that we should take down the one more
Yeah.
so that it doesn't lay on top of the chicken coop?
Feels like too big of a saw for this.
Yeah, it was perfect for the other branches. It just glides through them like butter. Look at that. Yeah, see, that looks good. It looks like a total lollipop though, you guys. Let me stand back. That tree, because the top died out of it a couple years ago and it had more of a point. Now it looks like a total lollipop. Hopefully it rebounds, but it is nice to have those awkward low branches gone. Oh, I might need your help because I put that basket boy underneath the arbor. It's clearly not the right size.
Uh-huh.
So I need something bigger. He wants me to take it all the way out, plus the wisteria. The beauty of this is like we take out the part that was not working, and then if we decide to take the rest of it out later, we can. But, you know, I hate the wisteria. I have so much time into that plant.
Yeah, it's really too bad.
Yeah. Anyway, sometimes taking things a little bit at a time makes me feel better.
It's like you're just living in denial a little bit.
Kinda.
It's like,
But
well, I'll just deal with that a different day.
It's pretty in the meantime. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I went around and looked at my concrete and I decided that I think I like this one the best for now. Even though the scale's off a little bit, that's okay. I really like that it's not distracting. Like when you look at this area, it doesn't scream at me. If I put something taller in that area and everything that I have that's taller is this finish, so it's lighter, I think it would just pop, and I don't really know that that's what I want for this space. I honestly feel like something like the Galloway urn in this same finish, that urn that we have on the west side that's really tall and narrow, I think that would look really pretty here. But look at these sweet flowers. These are the early albino lime saxifrage. I decided just to go with a mono and just make it look kind of fairy-esque and magical. And I think that these flowers are just the sweetest things. I'm gonna have to wrap these up tonight though because they have been in a very warm greenhouse for a while. I actually left our greenhouse door open because it's over 90 degrees in there right now. I walked in and I was like, oh my goodness. Nothing really likes it when it gets super hot like that, and it's very humid in there as well. So I'm airing that out, got this planted, and I think it's really, really sweet. And the beauty of it being small is that it's easy to move. So if we decide to do something completely different, retool this area, it'll be easy to tuck it into a flower bed somewhere. It's not hooked up to drip because I would have to run a drip cord, or a drip tube rather, up the back of the boy, because this doesn't have a hole that goes all the way down through the center. So this one we can just hand water as needed. As a whole, I'm really happy with this area. It's cleaning up nicely. We still need to pay some attention up front, cut the buddleia back and de-leave the roses that I trimmed last fall. They still have a lot of last year's leaves on them. And then we'll be relocating this juniper topiary somewhere. But let's take one last look through here. Oh, it's just so tidy. I love it. And everything's protected with our nice fence right here. So nice to have it cleared out. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today's project. A little bit of deconstruction and cleanup and just another area done, and we're ready to move to the next. I think I'm going to be doing the area around the pond here really soon. I was just out there earlier today and noticing, I need to get out here and cut back grasses. There's snowdrops up everywhere out there, and daffodils starting to push through. So I should probably get that done before the bulbs get any bigger than they are now. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.